Greetings everyone. Today we're going to explore solving systems by substitution. This is part of a series of videos. Specifically today though, we're going to include all of our steps, meaning we're going to have to isolate a variable, we're going to have to substitute an expression in, and we're going to have to find the remaining variable. Now we do have a foldable for this, so I would definitely have that available to make this process easier. Let's start off on our note sheet by identifying our 3 steps today. To start off, we are going to solve one equation for one of the variables. Or you could think of it as isolating a variable. Now keep in mind, this step, there is a bit of a strategy. Meaning, we get to choose what letter, so we should be picking the easier variable to solve for. Step 2, you're going to substitute that expression you found into the other equation. Notice how I made the word other bold. Please do the same. Step 3, you're going to substitute the value into the original equation to find the other. Meaning, I'm looking for an x, y coordinate. So if I know y, I got to find x. Please take a moment if needed to pause this video to jot these down. All right, let's go through our 3 steps for these examples. Step 1 is isolate a variable. So if I take a look at my equations, which variable looks easier? I think this x right here, right? It's almost by itself. So let's jot down the first equation. And my goal is to isolate a variable. If I want to get x by itself, instead of minus 6y, we're going to undo it by adding 6y. The x falls down, the equals falls down, and I now have x isolated. If you need help with this process, I have many other videos about isolating a variable. We just created our expression. For step 2, we have to use the other equation. So I'm going to write the second equation. Now, I solved for x, which means where x is, I'm going to draw a box. Everything else falls down. Instead of x, I draw a box. Do you see that connection there? Inside that box, I'm going to write my expression, my 16 plus 6y. That's what's new. That's the substitution piece. From here, we're just solving a good old equation. We're going to use my little acronym. You can see my other videos for Don't Call Me After Midnight. First step, distribute. Check. Let's distribute that 9 into the parentheses. The fact that it's big numbers doesn't matter. So let's take 9 times 16, which gets us 144. Then let's take 9 times 6, which gets us a positive 54y. Everything else falls down. Our next step is combining. I have y's that are together, so let's just keep them together. 54 minus 2 is 52y's. Again, if you need help with these steps, see my solving videos. Next, we're going to add or subtract, so I'm going to minus the 144. That seems like a big change, but bear with me. 52y falls down. 12 minus 144 is negative 132. My last step is multiply or divide. We are going to divide, and guess what? 132 divides by 52. Oops, you know what? I made a mistake here, you guys. This was a negative 12. Sorry about that. Negative 12 minus 144 is negative 156. There we go. You know how I knew I made a mistake? It wasn't dividing. And I'm going to keep your answers nice and clean. So 156 divided by 52 is negative 3. There we go. We found our first value. Let's go to our solution area. You might have a spot for this on your paper. And my y is -3. Well, step 3 says find the other variable. I know my y. I need to find my x. Guess what? I'm going to highlight this. Look at this equation right here. I need to find x. Look how pretty that is. Look how easy that is. I'm going to rewrite that over in step 3. Okay? So watch this. X equals 16 plus 6y. I'm going to use that equation because look what I get to do. I get to keep everything there, but instead of y, I'm going to multiply by -3. Look how easy that's going to be. 6 times -3 is -18. So all I did was multiply. And 16 minus 18 is -2. Look at that nice pretty answer. -2, comma, -3. Now, in our class, based on the title page, we're going to keep our answers pretty basic. So if you're not getting basic, something's up. Let's try again. Example 2. We want to isolate a variable first. So strategy. Which letter looks easier? This y. That y is almost by itself. So pick the easier option, right? Or pick the option that's almost by itself. Or pick the option that has the smallest number, okay? I'm going to isolate y, which means instead of -2x, we're going to add 2x since we're kicking it over the line, right? Y equals 4 plus 2x. There is my expression. Step 2, we have to use the other equation. You can't plug it into itself, right? That would get confusing. Use the other equation, the one you haven't used. I solved for y, so y gets the box. Everything else falls down. See how I did that? I made the y a box. In that box, I'm going to place my y expression. Y is 4 plus 2x. See how I substituted that in? All right, let's use our steps. Don't call me after midnight. See my other video for that. D, distribute. If I distribute a -3, it's a negative, -12 minus 6x equals -12. All right. Combine. Hey, I've got 6x and -6x on the same side, but wait a second. What's anything subtracted from itself? 6 minus 6 is 0, you guys. It goes away. They cancel each other out. Keep going through the motions, though. -12 falls down, -12 falls down. You guys, all my letters went away. If all my letters went away, it's not a point. There's no x, there's no y left. This is special. This is a special one. Is -12 equal to -12? That's true, which means my answer, I can stop, is infinite many solutions. If the answer's true, good, makes sense, then it's my nice, positive, true word answer. Let's try example 3. I need to choose an easier variable to solve for. I think the x looks good or the y here looks good, right? So I'm going to pick the one that just has smaller numbers. I'm going to pick the first one. Okay? You could pick the other y and still get the same answer. Okay? That's okay. I'm going to solve for x because look, if I want to solve for x, I got one step. Let's just add the y over. Awesome. Look how easy that was. 2 plus y. I'm going to throw a 1 in front because I feel like it might be helpful. There is my expression. I need to rewrite the other equation for step 2. I solved for x. So where there's an x, I'm going to put my box. Where there's an x, I change it to a box. Everything else falls down. See that? The plus y is still there. In my box goes my expression. All right, let's go through our solving steps. Don't call me after midnight. First, we're going to distribute. Distribute the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2y. Plus y equals 4 falls down. Combine. Hey, if I got 2 y's and 1 y, I have 3 y's. The 4 and the 4 fall down. There's no moving, so let's add or subtract. Instead of positive 4, let's minus 4. The fact that it's 0, you guys, is totally okay. 0 is a regular old number. We still have a letter. Let's divide by 3. What's 0 divided by 3? 0. So let's prep our answer. Go to your solution area. I just found out that my y is 0. For step 3, I'm going to pick, you know what? I'm just going to pick the second equation. I just want to try something here. Here's what I mean on step 3. You can pick any equation, and instead of y, we're going to put in a 0. Step 3 is a free-for-all. You just get to pick, plug in, and solve. So plus 0 isn't needed, so I have a 2x equals 4. Divide by 2, and I have my nice clean x value, which is 2. My last example here. Keep sticking with me. You're doing good. If you need to pause at any time or slow down, please do so. I need to solve for a letter. Which letter looks the easiest? That has a 2, that has a 6, that has a 3. X. X is almost by itself. So let's choose the second equation. And if it's almost by itself, then I want to get it by itself. Because look, plus 6, we're just going to minus 6. Hey, that ain't bad. X is by itself, and we have a 3 minus 6 is my expression. There's my box. Okay, well, I already used the second equation, so I need to use the first equation. I solved for x, so x is going to get my box. Everything else falls down. The 2, the minus 6y, the equals 12. In the box goes my expression, my 3y minus 6. See how I substituted that over? All right, we're ready for our solving steps. Don't call me after midnight. First, let's distribute. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is negative 12. Negative 6y falls down equals 12 falls down. Combine. I have a 6y and a negative 6y. This is kind of like the other one, right? Anything subtracted from itself is 0. Don't write 0y because 0 times y is just 0. It just goes away. So let's keep going through the motions. I still have a negative 12. I still have a positive 12. Wait, all my letters went away. I don't have a point. This is special. This is a special one. Is negative 12 equal to 12? No. That is not true. It's not equal. It's negative sounding. So it's our no solution. There's no numbers in the world that'll work together to make this work. So it's no solution. Alrighty, good job. Now I know this is a tougher one in my series of videos for substitution. So please, if you need to, ask questions, re-watch the video without taking notes. Have the video playing while you do your homework. Maybe that'll help, just hearing those steps over again. As always, make sure to check out Google Classroom to see what your task is. Check out my YouTube playlist. Are you missing a video? Do you need to catch up on a certain topic? Let me know what you need, and until next time, have a good one.